The switch has been flipped, and the tropics have sprung to life. In today's update, we will primarily focus on Tropical Storm Franklin in the Caribbean and the Tropical Depression in the Gulf of Mexico. We will also briefly touch on Gert and Emily, both of which are currently weakening. Firstly, let's examine Tropical Storm Franklin. As observed from the infrared satellite imagery, it is generating concentrated and well-organized thunderstorms. Over the course of the day, these storms have decreased in intensity. Nevertheless, I anticipate further thunderstorm development as strengthening is projected. The current statistics for Franklin are displayed in the top right corner of your screen. Presently, it is a tropical storm moving slowly to the west at a slow 4 miles per hour. However, a northward turn is anticipated in the next day or two, placing it on a trajectory toward Hispaniola. Tropical storm warnings are already in effect for the southern coast of the island, with tropical storm watches issued for the northern coast and the Turks and Caicos Islands. Afterwards, Franklin is forecasted to head north of the Caribbean and into the western Atlantic, where it could potentially gain more organization and strengthen into a hurricane as early as Friday morning. However, predicting the track and intensity this far ahead is exceedingly challenging. This is where computer forecast models come into play to provide us with insights. Let's begin by examining the GFS forecast run on the left. This model indicates Franklin weakening after making landfall in Hispaniola. Afterward, the system rapidly gains organization, evolving into a well-developed hurricane as it navigates toward Bermuda, or slightly past it, as shown in this run. In forecasting, we rely on multiple models. On the right side, we have the ECMWF, or European Forecast Model. Notice the distinct contrast between the models in terms of Franklin's overall strength, which consequently leads to significant differences in its trajectory down the line. The European model, with its slower and weaker track forecast of Franklin, suggests that it could primarily pose a rain threat to the islands. However, it's important to note that it's still early days for Franklin. A Hurricane Hunter aircraft is currently investigating the system as at the time this video was created. Once the collected data is integrated into the forecast models, we will have a clearer understanding of Franklin's future strength and trajectory, enabling us to better comprehend its potential impacts. Now, let's shift our focus to the Gulf of Mexico. Thunderstorm activity associated with Tropical Depression 9 has notably improved since yesterday, with even a visible low-level circulation on the visible satellite imagery. According to the latest update from the National Hurricane Center, Tropical Depression 9 is anticipated to intensify into a tropical storm around midnight tonight. Nevertheless, regardless of its development, the system is likely to cause impacts due to flash flooding on drought-stricken ground. Coastal erosion and a surge of 1 to 3 feet are forecasted by the National Weather Service for various parts of the Texas Gulf Coast, spanning from the mouth of the Rio Grande to Sargent, encompassing areas such as Corpus Christi and Matagorda Bay. Tropical storm warnings are already in effect from the Rio Grande up to Corpus Christi, with a tropical storm watch extended to the Matagorda Bay area up to Sargent. I will certainly be closely monitoring the progress of both these systems over the upcoming days. As promised at the beginning of what I now realize is a rather lengthy tropical update, let's briefly discuss the other two systems in the tropics, namely Gert and Emily. Emily has transitioned into a post-tropical system, signifying the loss of its tropical characteristics, and it is anticipated to dissipate entirely by tonight. Meanwhile, Gert has weakened to a tropical depression, battling against strong wind shear. Gert is expected to fully dissipate by tomorrow. That concludes today's update. I apologize for the extended duration, as we had more content than usual to cover. If you found this informative and enjoyable, I encourage you to subscribe and enable notifications to stay well informed about future updates on tropical weather. Thanks for watching, see you next update.